I'm basically a Mumbaiker. I was born in Mumbai, just my home a block away. Went to school in Bombay, went to Paris on an exchange as a kid, but otherwise grew up and studied in Bombay. Um, my parents, Keki and Daisy, are Zoroastrians, so grew up as a Zoroastrian. In my family, I'm the eldest. Then there's my brother Dara, and then my sister Tihunaz. Dara and I work together in our family business, so it's a mom and pop shop. My sister Tihunaz lives in Singapore, and I started working fairly early at the age of 16. And yeah, my life earlier was shaped by work and how I saw myself as a professional running a business, which is broking. We started as a broking house, and we've grown into investment banking, fund management, your classic India story, BPO, infrastructure, etc. And over time, that changed. I'm looking at myself through the lens of what I was in business and as a professional, to what I am as a human being, as an individual, through the lens of religion, then spirituality, and to the final culmination for any man, which is as a married man. Faith and belief, I think that where knowledge stops and where there is that area which is beyond knowledge, and where you really don't, where you can't put things into a scientific, rational manner, or what science or modern society or the idioms of language or cannot explain. That, to me, beyond that, is then faith. And that faith then can be very different for each person. To me, that faith is the belief that all of creation is one. My faith is my desires or my thoughts at this point of time, that my priorities of focusing and being in balance with nature, with creation. And how do you achieve that? One, to keep a strong, positive, happy mind, to try to make my heart more loving and make that a priority. Our connection with life is through our breath. So how do I regulate my breath? I find that if my breathing and my breath is gentle, if it is long, if it is powerful, then that is how I feel. And all of that coming back to being one with nature and to being a positive, loving ball of energy.
Tell me, do you feel like, maybe you described it, but I like to ask people, what was the first time in your life you feel like you had to rely upon God as you understand God? Like, do you ever feel like you've had to just completely...
Oh yeah.
Tell me about the first time.
I'll tell you what I remember. It may not have been the first time. As a student, I guess, you turn to God for your exams. And from the results that I got, I obviously didn't either turn to God or He didn't actually reach out and help me. I think it was in business when things used to be very, very difficult. when doing business in India is still a challenge, when the environment is a challenge, and more so 25 years ago. While our business was smaller, we were not buffeted, I guess, by forces as strong or powerful as we are now. But for a 16-year-old, it was quite a challenge. And I think turning to my guru, turning to a force that was more powerful than me, was a gentle, knowledgeable, wise power, was something that I needed to turn to, because of two reasons. One, because of business. Two, because how I am as a person. My brother and I run our business together. He's much more a stronger, self-believing individual. And therefore, when I compare and I'm able to understand myself better. So my need to turn to a higher power, my need to do business in a particular way as far as possible, which in India sometimes can be difficult, meant that I had to turn towards higher principles, etc. And my colleagues, we carried quite a heavy burden because our company, Darasha, had a reputation. We are now an 80-year-old company, at that time a 60-year-old company. And the balance was to tell people that, look, we are no saints, but yes, we definitely try to do business in a particular manner. So it meant creating a philosophy for the organization, creating a philosophy for ourselves, of trying to find a synthesis between spirituality, religion, and day-to-day practices. So really, it's a series of events. It's really a journey. As Parsis, we are by and large a very, very tolerant race and a religion. Parsis are the race, and the religion is Zoroastrianism. We came to India 1300 years ago when we fled Iran and Islamic persecution at that time. And we found shelter in India. And India is such a great melting pot. It's been a country or a land which has given the Zoroastrians and Parsis nothing but love, peace, and security. So I think Parsis have been innately very, very grateful. And that gratitude is not only towards Hinduism, but has meant that we are open to many different faiths. Zoroastrianism also doesn't have a very strong clergy, so the theology and the clergy is not very strong. So people are free to express themselves, possibly in a more open manner, like Hinduism. And as a family, my father visited churches. My father was happy entering a temple. And as a child, I was supposed to die. The doctor said I had diphtheria and gave me a very short period of time. My mother told my father that leave everything and go to Kaupapa and tell him that we are going to lose Baman. So Dad went to meet Kaupapa, told him what the situation was. And Kaupapa says, Dikra, do whatever Jangir says. Jangir Wazivda was our family physician. And I remember being in the Breach Candy Hospital as a child, and I had two memories. One, me having to eat the hospital food. My mother, who spent 24 hours with me, sitting and eating a sausage and mashed potatoes, and me not being allowed to eat that. And the other memory was of all these doctors who were in the room, then went out on the very large, broad balcony which overlooked the sea. And then coming back, and physically and in their opinions, there was Jangir Wazirdar on one side, and there were these 6 other doctors on the other. And they said that the 6 of them said, this is what we have to do, otherwise Baman dies. And Dr. Wazirda said, nothing doing. I'm taking him home. And he came home and gave me a booster shot, a test shot of the vaccination that I was supposed to get. And my arm was swollen, and I reacted to that because Parsis, like the Jews, I think, suffer from this deficiency called G6PD. That's a deficiency in the blood. If I had been given that medicine or the injection, I would have died out of that. And Wazirda said that I didn't have diphtheria. The diagnosis was wrong. And therefore I lived. So we went to give our thanks to our Guru. And Papa said, don't give me thanks. Go to Mount Mary and thank Mother Mary, because she has saved Baman's life. We anyway used to go to Mount Mary, so we went there to give our thanks.
Tell me about a time you doubted your faith, that you struggled with the faith.
I have never ever gone through that, because my faith for me was embodied in my Guru. And in religion, you believe in a higher force or a divinity which embodies all the values that you are looking for in yourself or you want to find. And I found that in my Guru. So I had a first-hand experience of knowing that men of God, of spirituality, or through religion, this is where you can reach. So I have never gone through that type of angst. I've never gone through that level of doubt. So therefore, that faith and belief, while I've never voiced it very strongly, internally it's been a very, very strong thing. What I have moved away from is organized religion, which today I feel is a very negative force in the world. All battles that are being fought today are that my God is better than your God. Whereas, like you said, there's that one very big God. And therefore, my belief today, I've moved really even from the Sufism that I followed, which is you respect every religion, you find divinity in every man, and not moved away. That has led me to humanitarianism or humanism. That if we can just live peacefully, if we can respect individuals, if we can see that in the human body and in this life, you can reach the highest states that you want, and you don't have to go to Jannat or paradise or to heaven to achieve, but you can actually make a heaven on earth. And that the experiences that we go through, the difficulties, whether it's terrorism, war, famine, it's not about what's happening, it's not about other people, but it's really that experiences and how you use them to actualize your own potential. That these experiences are really stimuli, and that stimuli is to goad you into actions of your own choice towards what you think is good or any other choice. Which in a way, when I share this with you, brings me back that it's actually a full circle with religion, because Zoroastrianism talks about the path of Asha or the path of righteousness, and the fact that we always have the right to choose. That at every moment, with every breath, you choose your action. So I guess I haven't really strayed too far from what my father taught me. And therefore, what I see as a negation of my father's beliefs are actually, I've come back today full circle to the highest belief of Zoroastrianism. Humata, Hukta, Huvarashta. Humata is good thoughts, Hukta is good words, and Huvarashta is good deeds. So that's really it sums up what I want
What
to
are you
do and
most
be in
grateful
life.